We have now with us Congressman Adam Smith, Democrat from Washington. He is at the House Armed Services Committee. Thank you so much for joining us. We were talking just yesterday about what was happening in Venezuela and what the Trump administration was saying about Iran, talking about locked and loaded. And now you see these remarkable moments happening. Just moments ago, we're seeing the president right now, as we sit here talking to you, of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, on U.S. soil, flanked by many different federal agents, mostly from the DEA, because we can see their jackets. I just want to get your reaction to what has happened over the past several hours.
Yeah, well, it's deeply concerning on a number of levels. Number one, what comes next, as your reporters have done a great job of commenting on. Okay, Maduro's gone. Who's leading Venezuela? And we don't seem to know. And when President Trump says that the U.S. is going to be running Venezuela in the short term and seems to have no idea what that means or how to achieve that's concerning. Because if Venezuela descends into further chaos, that's not in the U.S. interest, and we don't seem to have a plan to fix that. And what U.S. interest is being advanced here exactly? It doesn't seem to have a lot to do with stopping drugs from coming into the U.S. And again, we don't know what the future is. And the president basically has decided that the U.S. has the right to simply remove another country's president by force when we feel like it. That has enormous implications, certainly for the Western Hemisphere and Trump's vision of us in the U.S. being able to dominate it, but also for Russia and China. You know, what do we say to Putin if he says, well, I'm going to go in and remove Zelensky? So President Trump is taking us in what I think is a very dangerous direction broadly in terms of policy, and then specifically in Venezuela. Where is this going? We don't know, and that could lead to all manner of different dangerous outcomes.
I'm curious to get your response. We just heard from Jim Sciutto with some great reporting. He's talking to the opposition in Venezuela, who says, look, we have gotten express support from several other countries, France, Argentina, Panama, Paraguay. But he did not mention the United States in that. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to what is Trump's goal here. And I think the easiest way to sum up Trump's goal is he wants the oil. He wants U.S. oil companies to have greater control over Venezuelan oil. Now, there's all manner of problems with that. To begin with, what's the infrastructure like to even get after that? And also, what's the legality of the U.S. asserting that level of control? But he hasn't seemed to give much thought to what comes next. The stated purpose behind this for a lot of people was that Maduro was not legitimately elected. He lost the election to Machado. And she should be the legitimate president of Venezuela. But if that's the case, we've removed Maduro. And now, as I understand it, the vice president, who's no more legitimate than Maduro, has now taken over the presidency. Well, what are we going to do about that? Who should lead Venezuela? And what's the process for getting there? So as I said, there's a lot of very troubling unanswered questions about where this policy goes past the, okay, we snatched Maduro. Great job. But where does that leave us? And what is the policy behind it?
Are you pleased with the way that this was executed? Not obviously you are not pleased that this happened, but do you give the administration credit for how it happened? No deaths, and the president managed to do what he had planned on doing.
Well, from a technical standpoint, yeah, we got a great military. They perform tasks incredibly well. They have for decades now. And yes, that is very impressive. But this is what sort of has gotten us into trouble. And remember, this was part of Trump's argument for getting elected president. He was going to stop us stumbling into these conflicts. He was going to stop us using our military to try to solve all the world's problems. Look, Saddam Hussein, terrible guy. Muammar Gaddafi, terrible guy. You know, our military did a very effective job of removing both of them from power. It didn't end well. That's the problem. That the military is really good at doing what it is assigned to do, but it's not in the nation building business, as we learned. They can take people out, they can kill people, they can do it all very well. And it's good that we have that capability. But relying on that capability and thinking that that's a substitute for policy and a substitute for, you know, the far messier business of figuring out, well, who is going to lead the country and how is that going to work? that's what got us in trouble over the course of the last 30 years. It wasn't bad intentions. It was thinking that we could accomplish more than we actually could just with military might and precision. So yeah, from a military operations standpoint, kudos, well run. But the implications of where that goes is the far bigger problem that we now have.
Representative Adam Smith, we do appreciate you taking our time in this remarkable moment to walk us through your thoughts on what has happened between the United States and Venezuela.